podcast. My name is Ashley, and I am coming to you from our farm in Southwest Missouri, where I live with my husband and our two boys. Men, young men. They're not boys anymore. They are almost 19 and 17, so yeah. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram under Spur Creek Farm. I do have a Ravelry, but I don't share it here because I do not take notes with Ravelry. I don't really do anything on Ravelry. The only time I ever go on there is if I'm looking for a specific pattern that is not available on like a designer's website. So I am on there, but I'm not going to share it there. You could always email me at spurcreekfarm.mo@gmail.com or comment on one of my videos and I'm sure I will see it. So I feel like I have a lot to share with you guys. It's been about a month since I podcasted last, and I'm looking at my giant pile of crap here, and I realize I have no finished objects, none. Most of them are whips, and then most of them are things I haven't even cast on yet. Kind of a, yeah. So this is going to be kind of my future plans for the fall. Sorry if you hear noise in the background. My robot vacuum's going, and then it's just loud here. So I'm going to talk louder. I also got this new system, like a ring light. It's not working, so if it decides to turn on, you know, it just is what it is. I guess I should share. I am wearing my I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it. Soldatna tee by Caitlin Hunter. Oh my goodness, this is like 2018, 19. This is an old one, and I very, very, very rarely wear it because it's very cropped. I should have done it a little bit longer, and I don't have any yarn to make it longer. So I kind of used some of my scraps. I'm gonna kind of stand up for you. But yeah, so I mean, I love the colors. I think it's really pretty. The neckline's a little wonky. I think I would have, I don't know. Sometimes her patterns just don't fit me very well. There's one pattern in particular that I love of hers, and it's the ankle sweater. In fact, I want to make another one. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing today. I am drinking coffee out of my spooky little Halloween mug. This is from one of my favorite potters, in the Potter's Hands. I will link her down below. I have ordered, oh goodness, I've ordered a lot of mugs. She is actually in Lake Lord, North Carolina, and was hit by Hurricane Helene. And so I ordered from her before the hurricane hit, and then I've just really wanted to support her, and she's always great. Her name's Ashton, and yeah, I actually want to get some custom mugs done, but her turnaround time for those are, I think I've missed the mark, so I wanted to get some done for Christmas. Mom, if you're watching, you may or may not get a mug, custom mug, which I know you watch. Hi, Mom. Anyway, so drinking that, I guess I'll just kind of jump right in. Works in progress that you saw last time I podcasted, were, I don't even think I had casted these on. Maybe I had started them, but these are my Freckled Whimsy. Where's the other sock? Freckled Whimsy last November. So November 2024, I joined her club, which I kind of want to do it again. I said I didn't want to because I was having an issue with gauge, and I didn't like a few of the colors, but I kind of miss getting self-strapping yarn every month. It's just like a little surprise, so I really, really enjoy it. This is Woodsy. The colorway is Woodsy, and I just did a very simple vanilla sock pattern. I love the colors on these. They're so pretty. And then I got a little, she also sent a mini little like chocolate brown mini and I'm just doing the heel and the toe, mainly because I forgot to do the cuff. And I like my cuff a little bit longer, and I feel like if I do a really long cuff and a heel flap and then the toe, I'd run out of yarn in my minis. So I just kind of do this, but I love it. So I have one sock done, and I am on the gusset decreases on the second sock. And I am knitting these. I knit this entire sock on, what are these called? 9-inch circulars. I have, if you guys have watched for any amount of time, you know that I hate them. I loathe them. They are the worst. But I said, I'm going to do this. That's how my mom knits on them. And I know she has, I don't know if she has arthritis in her hands, but like she has bigger hands, and it just like that. but I did it. Now, I cannot knit on these for any length of time because my hands do cramp up. I don't think I will do this again, especially, I mean, okay, but it goes fast. I knit much quicker on them, but it does cramp up my hands. And I did a long leg. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I mean, the leg. I think with self-striping socks, I just get in the groove of the color changes and I don't want to stop. And so that's what I did. So I should be done with these. I hope to be done with these this week. Probably 2 weeks, because like I said, I can't knit on them for very long because my hands do cramp up. But I love them. I love the yarn. I love the color, and I'm excited to have these for fall. These will probably be one of the only pairs I knit myself. Actually, I have one more pair that I'm going to knit myself this year. The rest are going to be gift knits, and I'll get to that here in a minute. Some of my plans. Yeah. So I just cast on 64 stitches, did a vanilla sock, then a heel flap and gusset, and then I do a rounded toe. I think for like the heel turn, I look at a pattern because I don't remember, and I don't even remember what pattern. I think I look at Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern for the heel turn, but then everything else is kind of my deal. So this is in a Halloween bag by, of course, Handmade Life by Olivia. As I look at my stuff, all of my bags are hers. All of them are hers, except for 2 that I have made myself. So, I love them. And then you also saw this last time I podcasted. I have not made that much of progress on this. This is my Cumulus. I've got my little note thing here. This is my Cumulus tee or top, summer top by PetiteKnit. And let's see where I was last. I don't have my marker on there. I think I've knit probably a 1/2 inch to 1 inch on this. And I'm kind of putting it away for the winter because I want to work on some more winter garments with some different yarn that I've gotten. And this is just very, very summery. Oh, I was like, why is that string there? Oh my word. But yeah, I still really love it. It's just going to be a really, really long process. And I'm bored. I'm very bored. So hopefully I can, and the pattern from here on out is just knitting in the round. So I'm not concerned about not being able to pick up in the pattern when I pick it back up. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a cropped shirt because as soon as I get it to an appropriate length, I'm stopping. I mean, I do like it. I still like the yarn, a little splitty, but that I think kind of comes with the territory on some of these linen what is this? This cotton linen blend yarn. I think that's just kind of how it goes. So it does split a little bit more than, well, I guess I can't really compare it apples to apples because this is a fingering weight. And then I've been using Drops Belle, which is I think a DK weight. And so can't really compare it apples to apples, but yeah. And this is a very, I know several of you asked me to definitely review this whenever I get it done. And I probably will, but I mean, it's a fine fingering. So it's taking a long time. I'm going to love it. I know it. So yeah, there's that. I think, nope, I have 2 more. I literally just decided on a whim to podcast today. I've had some, here we go. I've had some health stuff going on the past couple weeks, and I thought if I don't get it done, I'm just not gonna do it. So, okay, this was just a random day of deciding that I needed to cast on something new. And I had purchased several colors of Drops Belle. I purchased this one and like a really, really light pink, and I was going to make I think it was the Farnham tea, or the is it Tolsta? I think. Something like that. And I just kept looking at it. I think, in fact, I bought the Farnham tea, and I couldn't figure it out. I believe that's the one. Let me look. I don't have it in my notes, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I could not, yes, Farnham, there it is. I could not figure out the instructions. I couldn't figure out what she was asking me to do. I'm sure it's very simple, but I could not wrap my mind around what was happening with that. So I moved on to a very simple tea. And this is the Annecy tea by November Knits. I don't think I know her name. Yeah, but November Knits. It's a very, very simple classic tea, which is what I wanted. And I am knitting it in Drops Belle in the colorway. I think it's Mauve, but you know, they don't put the name of the color on here. So it's color 21. I got my yarn from Wool Warehouse. In fact, okay, so I started this and I knew I was going to run out of yarn because I had purchased only enough yarn to make a striped tee. So the yardage would be split with another color. So I went on to, well, when I first started this, Wool Warehouse was not shipping to the United States. So I waited and waited, and I just kept going, kept plugging along, because I thought, well, maybe I could put a call out on here, Instagram, and I could maybe get some, because I think I only needed like 2 more balls. And I got down to my last ball, and I got on to Wool Warehouse to check one more time, and they were shipping. It was kind of like order at your own risk. We're not sure. And it came within a week. So I'm very lucky. Same dye lot, everything. But I love, 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 love this tea. I think I just split for the sleeve. No, yes. And I'm working on the body. It has a little bit of short row shaping in the back. A really pretty, what is this called? I literally just had the worst. My mind just went blank, completely blank. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure out. Raglan. So you've got like a 3-stitch raglan, front and back. And it's so pretty. You knit it with I am knitting on a 5mm needle. I believe the pattern calls for a 4mm needle, and I could not get gauge with that. And it was just a very, very tight fabric, and I wanted this to be, I feel like if you knit drops with a very tight or a tight gauge, it gets really hot. I did that with one of my Anchors summer shirts, and I did not like it. I I really like when this has more of an open fabric and has more of a drape. I think it's much, much prettier. So I'm very excited. Very, very excited for this. I am trying to make sure all of my, when I add in a new ball, I am trying to make sure that they are on the side, because I've noticed that weaving in drops, Belle, you see the stitches. And I cannot figure out a better way to do it. So I'm just really making sure that I'm paying attention. So I do have quite a bit of wasted yarn that I don't really like, but I think in the end it's going to be really pretty. And then you knit the sleeves. I believe the sleeves kind of go down to about just past bicep, right about here. I mean, obviously you can do whatever you want. And then I'm going to make this, I probably won't make it too cropped because I do want to wear it with jeans, but I'm making the size 4, which will give me, let's see what she says, a 115 centimeter circumference, which I think was like 43. Don't quote me on that. I don't know how to convert, but I did it at one point, but I think it's like a 45, maybe 43, 45 inch bust, which I typically make about the 40 inch bust, but I'm very excited about this. I love it. I just love drop spell. I mean, you can't really go wrong with drop spell. It costs like $3 or $4 a ball, and it makes really pretty garments. And I can wear this, which I don't know what's going on with our weather. I don't know if you guys are experiencing that where you live, but we are in Southwest Missouri, and by this time, I think I don't remember it being this warm ever in all my years living here. I really don't at this point in the season. I know last year we were using our pellet stove. It was that cold. We had already had a freeze. We've had no frosts. Like we're not even tempting fate with our frosts. Like there's nothing. It doesn't get below 50 degrees. It doesn't even get below like 55 degrees at night. So I'm hoping that I will get quite a bit of wear out of this. And it shouldn't take me too long to finish. This is kind of what I work on. This is my mindless knit. I sit and I work on it while we watch TV, which we've been doing a lot of lately. I think we're just all tired. And this summer was hard. This summer was hard and long, and we're ready for the season of rest. For sure. For sure. Anyways, okay. So that is, no, Ashley, you're not done. Okay. This, I don't believe I showed this last time, and I've worked maybe, if I can find it, just a moment. There it is. I've worked on it a little bit over the past month or so. I'm making no progress, really, I feel like. And this is why I'm not doing an Advent this year, because I have 2 Advent projects that are still on the needles and have yet to be done. So that's what I'm doing. I love my Advents. I love opening up things every day. It's special and it's fun, but I won't be doing that this year because I'm overwhelmed with the amount of little yarns everywhere. But I decided last year with my Knotty Pine Advent to make the Anthology throw, which is a circular throw by Helen Stuart, which is this is the right way. So I have started on color 3. Color 3. Yep. And I am off with the pattern and the colors and the color changes. I did not have enough of this color. I'm not sure what happened. So I don't know. It's not going to look correct. I'm just kind of going with it and changing it. So hopefully I can catch up and I'll have enough of this brown to have, you know, kind of finished out this color, and then I'll have enough to actually finish out this brown section. If not, we're just going to follow the pattern and change colors as we need. So I don't know what happened, unless because I know I started a few different Advent things, and maybe, hold on guys, I'm going to turn off. I'm going to close my door because my vacuum's going. I have a robot vacuum and I feel like it just goes at the most annoying times. Yeah, so that's about all I have to say about this. It's fun to work on. I think because it's just a throw and a blanket, I just think it's daunting. And it stresses me out that I'm nowhere near finished, which is ridiculous, but I think that's why I'm at the point that I'm at. And I'm seeing that I've already made a mistake, looks like. Oh well. Very pretty. I love the Advent. Oh, I was saying I started other Advent projects and ripped them out, decided not to make them. So I'm wondering if maybe I discarded some of this. I wouldn't think I would have, but I guess I did. So there's that. Being kept in my little tote. And then the last project, I'm so excited for this. This has been on my want to make list since it came out years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. This is the Burdock Shawl by Fox and Folk. I will put a picture up here if I remember to do that. And this is some very, very special yarn. And I literally just cast it on and got to a point where I needed to focus. Whoops. And put it down because everyone was bothering me and talking to me at the same time. And I don't know about you, but I can't. There are some patterns and projects that you can work on where there's background noises and you can still mom and wife and do all the things. But then there are some where you're like, you can't work on those unless everyone's leaving you alone. And this is one of those, especially getting started because I'm kind of confused on how things go. But this is, so on my quest to have sheep, which I no longer have sheep currently, we will be introducing sheep again, but it's going to take some work on our pastures and our fencing and all the things. And we just did not have the time to do that this year. So I no longer have sheep. I do have a cow, and you will have seen probably some of my chores that I did this morning. I love her. She's my favorite. Her name's Minnie, and I love her. She's a lot of work, and I will do it until my body says absolutely not, but my husband's a big help, so I do love her. I don't know if I said this before. I'm not selling milk. I'm not in the dairy business anymore. She's just a family dairy cow, and I am thoroughly enjoying making cheese and all the things and just having my own source of milk because it's hard to find good quality sources of raw milk. Don't come at me in the comments. You will not change my mind. That's what I drink. And it's the only milk that I drink, and I love it. And I've been doing it for about 10 years and never gotten sick. So don't come at me in the comments because I won't listen to it and you'll be deleted. Very simply put. Anyway, back to the knitting. This yarn is from a Shetland breeder in Arkansas. She was who I was going to get some beautiful ewes from. And again, we decided to go a different way, but I wanted to try some of her yarn. Hackberry Farm, Jessica from Hackberry Farm, has the most gorgeous Shetland yarn I have ever seen. And like the softness, I love it. I absolutely love this yarn. And I knew when that pattern came out, my goal was to have my own sheep, get the wool processed, and make that shawl. And I was really bummed when that didn't happen this year. And so I thought, well, I'll just buy the yarn, but it has to be from a local farm. And she's in Arkansas. We're about an hour from the Arkansas border, so we're not too far. And she was so sweet. And so I originally purchased just, I think yeah, I just purchased 2 skeins. I was going to make a hat or some mitts and just try it out. And then once I realized that I wanted to make this shawl from her yarn, I messaged her. She actually sold most of her stuff to a local yarn shop in Rogers, or in Little Rock, I think. But she was so kind and sold me some from her own stash, enough to make the shawl. So what I am doing, the shawl calls for a worsted weight yarn. So I'm holding, and these are sport, so I'm holding them double. My gauge will be a little bit off. I don't care. It's a shawl, and it's this gorgeous big shawl. I'm so excited about it. So again, I literally just cast this on. That's all I have done. You like my little Lock and Lou, the book from Hocus Pocus? So yeah, it's going to be such a squishy, lovely shawl. I'm a little concerned because the spine of the shawl has these like flowery looking things where you have to knit into 3 stitches. And holding this double, I'm going to really have to pay attention. So I was hoping this would be more of a mindless knit, but I don't think it's going to be. But I think this is going to be one of those projects that I thoroughly enjoy the process of, because just working with farm yarn and knowing where it came from and the story behind it, I'm really excited for this. So, and I'm using US 9 5.5 millimeter needles to knit this. So this will also not be something I'm able to work on all the time, because the bigger the needles, the more it hurts my hands. I don't know if that's universal, but it definitely hurts my hands. But I'm very excited to work on this. So anyway, and I have plenty of yarn. So I'll be doing, the body obviously will be this gray, and then the lace border will be this white. So, and I love that it's, you know, this is from Fiona, and this is a mixture of gray from Umber, Bird, Cameron, and Graham, her sheep. So she does send it off to be processed at a mill, but it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. It's kind of like a taupey gray, which is perfect. I'm very excited for this project. So, now I think I'll move on. So that's all of my whips. I have lots of them. I think my time spent is going to be on those socks, to finish up those socks, and then on that Annecy tee. And then I have decided that I'm not going to cast anything else on until I get at least one of those projects done. So I have a lot of different things waiting, but I'm being good and I'm not casting anything on, because right now the patterns that are coming out are very tempting. Very tempting for someone that has no control, no self-control when it comes to her knitting. Okay. I'll go over some of my plans. So as soon as I have wool. So, okay. I bought a sheepskin and I'm in love. East Perry, not an affiliate, have no links, nothing like that. If you want, like, if you love wool and you love sheep, buy a sheepskin, buy from East Perry, because they're incredible. This thing follows me everywhere. Wherever I sit, it goes. That's where it's at. We actually bought several of them because we're getting a new couch and we have dogs, and our dogs, I'm tired of them ruining my stuff. So I'm going to lay down the sheepskin on there because my husband insists on them being on the couch. And you can't train a dog when only one person is training them. Anyway. Okay. My plans. I'm going to be making my children's socks, my boys' socks. This will be one pair. This is Drops Fable in the Colorway 910. I know these have names, but I have no idea what they are. There's actually some green in, yeah, there it is. It's showing. this will be one pair. This child wants, I actually think they all want short socks. I think. Oh no. As we've zippered our yarn into our zipper. And then this will be child number 2's socks. They never watch my podcast, so safe to share this with them. This is in colorway 650. And it's kind of like a camo-y greens. Yeah. So I'm going to be making them shorty socks. I will probably do a double or like a folded, what are they called? Cuff? Probably. I don't know. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. But yeah, so they each want socks, shorty socks. So that's what they will be getting in their stockings. So I am going to get on this. I do not have any faith that I will get these things done. I'm such a slow knitter, but since they only want shorty socks, surely I can get that done. We'll see. This is also in a bag by Olivia of This Handmade Life. I purchased this last year and I love it. Which I'm kind of running out of time for all my Halloween bags. This next yarn is also a Freckled Whimsy yarn in her club. And it was one of the colorways that I wasn't too fond of, but it's been in my stash and I keep looking at it and I think this looks like someone. And so this will be socks for my son's girlfriend's shorty socks. This I will do like an extra shorty sock with the cuff rolled. I do have a pattern that I typically follow. Whose pattern is that? I think it's a Summer Lee knit pattern. I'm not exactly sure. I am not exactly sure what the name of it is, but I will be making these. And I will probably just use these for the cuff, this for the cuff, and just do the rest there. So I'll be making 2 pairs of these because my boys have girlfriends. The girls are sisters. So yeah, so they'll be coming over for Christmas and we do stockings, and so everyone has to kind of have equal things. They don't have to, but my mother taught me that things have to be equal when it comes to gift giving. That's like, she was the mother that dumped the M&Ms out and gave each of us got a certain amount of red ones, a certain amount of green ones, like everything was even. And so that has stuck with me, and it's very important that things be even. So they will both be getting matching socks, and I think they'll like them. The only issue is I know one girl's foot size, the other one I don't, and I'm just gonna have to guess. Like, she gave me her shoe size and significantly smaller, so I think I'm just gonna guess, but I'm nervous. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But so those are my plans for gift knitting. I think that's all I'm going to be gift knitting this year. Because I think that's enough. I think that's plenty. And I really need to get started on those. So I'm going to really work on, I had no business casting on that shawl right now, but I wanted to, and I got the yarn and I just wanted to see what it looked like. So last thing is my socks. I have one more pair of socks that I want to start knitting on. And I ordered this from Knotty Pine Fiber. The Heirloom Pumpkins and Pumpkins. This is the pumpkin sock set. This is in her Bighorn base, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon fingering weight. And this is absolutely blowing out this color. Yeah, that's not going to show it. It's so much prettier in person, guys. That's kind of better. But it's got some very muted pinks and greens and oranges. Some deep, like, mahogany brown. I'm so excited for this. And I really want to cast it on. but I'm being good. I'm going to get my, yeah, but see, this is fall. So I need to cast this on now. But if I do that, there's no way I'm going to get 4 pairs of socks done. Maybe I give the girls something different. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Isn't that pretty? That's not coming across. I really wish my light would work, guys. But it's just not. I think I'm going to have to return it to the Amazon because this is not how it's supposed to go. Anyway, it's like this real pretty. That's probably a little bit better. Kind of a mustardy pumpkin color. And I just think I need a pair of socks on my feet like this immediately. And I think, I don't even know what pattern. I think I would do the Hermione's Everyday Sock, or maybe I will branch out and do something a little bit different. But when these look pretty in a Hermione's Everyday Sock, we'll see. We'll see. I'm itching to cast these on, but I'm trying to be really good. This is in a new bag from Olivia of This Handmade Life. And I love it. Very spooky, very pumpkin-y. I'm so excited for fall decorations. It doesn't feel like fall, but I've got all my fall stuff out. You will have seen that in the beginning. I probably took a video of my tree. Don't judge me. But my aunt has a season tree. So she's got this big Christmas tree in her front entryway, and she decorates it for the seasons. And I have always wanted to do that. And my husband's like, sorry. Clearly there's someone at the front door. It's probably a delivery. He's still barking, but it'll be fine. Season tree. So I've always wanted to do that. My husband thinks it's ridiculous and has never really let me do it. But I needed a new Christmas tree for the area by my coffee bar. Ours went out last year, and I know that Christmas decorations sell out really quickly. My son works at Walmart, and so he has been sending me links, and it's like, hey mom, this tree's, so I ordered that one. Of course I needed to put it up. So once I put it up, I realized I don't want to take you down. You're so cute. So obviously you cannot decorate for Christmas right now. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I got a bunch of fall picks and fall, actually some of the ornaments were in the Christmas section, but they have like a woodsy looking themed section. And I got these little brown, velour birds and some mushroom ornaments. And then I had some like random plasticky pumpkins sitting around, and I just plopped them in, and it is bringing me so much joy to have a tree, lighted, like the lights. I'm obsessed. I love it. I don't think I'll keep it up year round, but I love the twinkly lights. I love turning on in the morning, just the house being lit by Christmas lights. That is one of my favorite things on earth. And about this time, I get the itch to start, to needing those lights. And it's way too early to put up Christmas stuff. I would, if people wouldn't make fun of me. Like if I lived alone, my house would be Christmas probably all year round. Probably. Because it just makes me happy. So this is kind of like a transition. So it kind of takes away that like yearning for Christmas, and it makes it, I don't know. I'm just really enjoying it. My husband still thinks it's ridiculous, but you know what? I'm here 95% of the time by myself, and everyone else works outside of the home, and I'm here. So I'm just going to do what I find enjoyable. I think that's all for the knitting. I did have several people message me, email me, comment that I mentioned something about my watercolor, and they want to see some more of my watercolors, my paintings. And I am still very, very much a beginner, but I thought I would show you a few of so I have this journal, this handmade journal, which I think is really cool. It's an old book. I will link the shop below. It's an Etsy shop. And I try to journal in this often. I was trying to do it every day, but that's just not realistic for me right now. So yeah, I just thought I would show a few of my paintings that are in my journal. Let's see. Some of them I don't necessarily want to show because they're not the best. But again, I'm very much a beginner. I'm just kind of learning the craft and learning new techniques. I like this one. This one was 4th of July. And I do share these pretty often on my Instagram. So these are some, just trying to play around with textures and different paints. And like I said, just kind of learning, the craft. It's been really fun. So a lot of the times I will scroll through Pinterest and try to find, like if I find a picture, most of the time I kind of go off photographs and I will kind of paint from a photograph. Not a fan of this one, but I like this one. So maybe I just cover that one up. But I like the storm. And then these next three are kind of the fall inspired ones. These two, Sarah, I think her name's McCrae with Let's Make Art. She does some morning journal things, and these were inspired by her journals, her journal entries. This one's so fun. This was another one of her journal entries, and so I just kind of, she does like little tutorials sometimes on them, but I can kind of look at them and try to do my best and copy them, but just little bats. So it's really fun to just, do something different. I know watercolor is a very different medium than knitting and even spinning or dyeing yarn. And so I'm really enjoying learning that. And I feel like it works like a different part of my brain, and it challenges me a bit more because there are days where I'm just not in the mood to do it. I can't make my brain get the inspiration. Knitting you can kind of pick up, and it's just kind of like this cathartic, rhythmic, stress relieving thing. But I believe when you're painting, it kind of invokes this creativity. And for me, I've got to be in that headspace. There are some days where I don't want to think. I just want to sit and knit, listen to an audiobook, or just be in the silence. And with painting, it takes a little bit more. I feel like it's an outlet for bad days, or a way to get your creativity out in a different way. So I'm really enjoying it. I would love to get much better at it because I have always envied, the paintings. And actually, you can see these are some of my early ones. And I want to hide these away, but I like having some of my older paintings up so I can watch my progress. Because if I paint something in my journal and I think, oh, that's horrible, but I look around at some of these other ones that I have hanging on the wall and I think, oh wait, that was actually horrible. These are getting better. So I like seeing my progress. But anyway, I think that is all I have to share with you today. Be sure you're liking and subscribing below if you enjoy this podcast. And we don't have any big plans for the rest of the week. We would love for the weather to turn cool. It's 85 degrees today, and it doesn't look like there's an end in sight. So I hope you guys are enjoying some cool, crisp fall weather where you are. And I just hope you're having a wonderful day, and happy knitting.